important that Anambra State government launched and what effect it's going to have on the solution government. I just remind you that Ask the Commissioner is a program that gives the policymakers a platform to come and give a scorecard of different things that they have done or they are still doing under the Soludo administration. And today on Ask the Commissioner, we focus the spotlight on the Ministry of Economic Planning. Today we want to look at the SolutionLens as a one-stop platform for inquiries on Soludo's government. And of course, the special guest in the studio that we have that will be joining us, if all things being equal, it's the Commissioner for Budgets and Economic Partners. Just like I said when I was doing a promo of the program earlier in the day, that the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget Partners will be here today, and of course our very own Commissioner for Information will be here as well. And I would like to welcome the Honourable Commissioner for Information, High Chief Dr. Lomefo, to Ask the Commissioner today. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you for hosting us once more. Okay. And today we are, like you said, going to discuss something quite fundamental. No.
And just like I said, we're still expecting the Commissioner, but as we're expecting the Commissioner, someone is standing in for her, and that is Ogochukwu Orji. She's the SSA to the Governor on Budgets and Economic Planning. Ogochukwu, welcome to ABS. Welcome to Ask the Commissioner.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. Just before we kickstart the conversation, we hear from Ogochukwu as well. We'd like to hear from the Commissioner for Information. We'd like him to give us a brief rundown or a brief background about the SolutionLens that we want to talk about today. Commissioner, sir.
Yeah, thank you. SolutionLens, the technical expertise is here, represented in Ms. Orji here. She should be able to give you everything, but I just want to give an overview. Government may be doing so much without the people knowing what the government is doing. That in itself is a problem. It's a big challenge. So the idea is to establish a platform where who is truly interested in understanding what is going on in government of the Soludo administration will be able to access whatever information, give feedbacks, and also ask questions and receive prompt answers. In other words, SolutionLens is such platform where everything the government has done and even intends to do can be accessed. It's a sort of a visual archival, where much, in fact, everything you need and whatever you cannot find there, you can raise the interest, and the ministry, department, and the agency will respond as soon as possible. This is very fundamental because we have received many inquiries in that direction. And rather than keep responding to isolated and individual questions, it's better that people have where they can go to. And this will serve especially the Anambra and others who are not in Nigeria, Nigerians in diaspora, and then institutions, organizations. Now they have a place, and it's a platform that was put together by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, Ministry of Information, and the ICT agency of the state. The expert will tell us more and take questions to clarify areas you may find gray, and in fact, answer all the questions. If we don't finish today, we'll continue next week.
Okay, all right. Just like I spotlighted earlier, that today we delve into a look at the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget Partners, and they recently launched Solution Lens. And if everybody's hearing, you were thinking, okay, Solution Lens, are you talking about cameras? And you come back a camera or camera ka aichore. Well, she's going to tell us if it's just the cameras or is it the lens of the camera that you know, the one you're seeing right now in the studio for the people here, or is there something more to Solution Lens? But well, Ogochukwu Orji is here to educate us on everything there is to know. So let's begin the conversation. Solution Lens, is it a normal camera lens? Or which other lens? Are there other lens? Which other lens are we talking about? So when you talk about Solution Lens, what are you talking about?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. And let me mention that I'm standing in for the Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, who is unavoidably absent. So Solution Lens, simply put, is a promise made and a promise kept by Governor Soludo to Ndi Anambra. When Governor Soludo came into power, he promised Ndi Anambra that he was going to run an inclusive, open and transparent government that is in line with the international best practices. And Solution Lens is that citizens' engagement platform that allows citizens to follow through government project initiatives, programs, right from inception through implementation and even monitoring. He empowered someone maybe far in Omambala to be able to give feedback. This road that is here is not well built, is not doing well, and is real time. They can upload it on that platform and everybody sees it and it can be traced. And it just reroutes every inquiry to the relevant MDA that needs to give feedback on that. So over the years, the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning during the budget processes actually also engaged non-state actors, both the market women, the people with disabilities, and all on the community leaders. During that process, during the bilateral discussions, they come to a table, they interrogate each project that MDAs bring to the table. They ask questions on how do this actually affect Ndi Anambra, how does this support us? And there are other, even the community charter of demand. But the Solution Lens, like the Commissioner for Information mentioned, is broader. It allows both Ndi Anambra in diaspora to also make input on the projects and programs that are ongoing in the state. It gives them the ability to dialogue, make input, co-create with the government, and also it also gives them the opportunity to make suggestions for the government and make inquiries. Even the Freedom of Information Act is embedded in this platform, so you can make requests for any government records that you require right there, and it will at the comfort of your room or your office, wherever you are, you can just make that request and it gets to you. So Solution Lens is just a transparency, accountability and citizens engagement platform. It's just citizens engagement platform taking a notch further. Thank you.
Well, from what you're saying, and I believe somebody listening, the person will be wondering, okay, the Solution Lens, accountability, holding people accountable, saying what the government is doing, it's all well and good, but someone will be wondering, okay, so what's the relationship between Solution Lens and budgets and economic planning? I think that's a big question that will come to mind when I'm listening to you.
Yes,
so what's the relationship?
That's a wonderful question. Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning is the coordinating ministry saddled with the responsibility of planning, state planning, budgeting, and partnership coordination. So Solution Lens gives that mechanism for citizens to give feedback on their suggestions, their inquiries, their needs. So Ministry of Economic Planning, on the other hand, will use those needs from the ministry to plan better, to budget better. So this aligns the government priorities and the needs of Ndi Anambra. So you see the linkage now. The Ndi Anambra make inputs into the SolutionLens. Then the ministry plans with those inputs, and everyone is happy. Ndi Anambra is happy.
Okay, so now the input you're talking about, is this something that is exclusive to the Economic and Budget Planning Ministry, or does it cut across every space?
Of course, it cuts across. That's why I said the coordinating ministry. So once they submit it, you route it through to the ministry, to the MDA that it aligns with.
In other words, you're saying when you get the information, you get to pass it across.
Of course.
Okay, all right. All right, so basically you stated the objectives and you stated the benefits, but I would also like to know, beyond this platform here that we are on Ask the Commissioner, because basically this is an awareness creating platform. Now, what other platforms or mechanisms are you using to make sure that citizens in Ndi Anambra, mandino chani imo obodo, ndị na-ebe niile, ma ndị nọ na diaspora dịka ị na-ekwu, na ha na-ama maka this SolutionLens ị na-ekwu okwu?
Okay, like
you
mentioned,
break it down, Igbo, and
okay, like you mentioned, this is part of it. This platform is actually part of it. Then we have, even before the launch, before we launched, we had stakeholder engagement, we had community engagement. Then again, we have radio jingles ongoing, because we have the platform, but we want Ndi Anambra to use the platform. We need them to own this platform, because it's just a blank check by Governor Soludo for them to tell the government what they really need. So we do radio jingles, we do social media ads, we have lots of town hall meetings planned through the week that we are going to, but we've started already, and this is one of them.
Okay, all right, so let's move away from you for a little bit, just a little bit. Kaibebe Commissioner for Information, no, because imana dika mbobido no na akawa ihe di iche boko wa Chiamaka SolutionLens. And in my mind, I was just saying, until Obe explained the relationship SolutionLens in with the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget Partners, because as a journalist, as a media person, as she was talking, I was like, okay, is this not more in the purview of the Ministry of Information? I was thinking until she explained. So, as a Commissioner for Information, heading the Ministry of Information, how are you collaborating with this Ministry of Economic Planning? Because this sounds more like citizen engagement, accountability, holding the government accountable, stating if you see something, you say something. So, what is the input of the Ministry of Information with regards to this SolutionLens?
It's a joint project, like I said before. The Ministry of Economic Planning, Ministry of Information, and the ICT agency. The three of them launched this platform. And yes, the Budget Ministry is the anchor point, and but it does not in any way diminish the partnership.
Between
the synergy is there, and we are working together. And the cooperation, part of it is what is being executed here. The Ministry of Information still maintains it's a standalone website, the www.solutiongovernment.nj. And that generally reports what is going on in the state. The SolutionLens is substantially different, because here, the expectation is that Ndi Anambra should use the platform to make inputs. In open governance, which Professor Soludo promotes, feedback is so fundamental, but it should go even beyond the feedback. Because feedback here means hearing from the people how they feel about what you are doing. But in this case, the governor is looking forward to Ndi Anambra bringing forward suggestions on what should be done. And then where they hold the expertise, they engage with the ministry, department, and agency in executing the suggestions that they have brought. In that case, they come in as consultants, because they hold maybe deep knowledge in the information and this execution. Government, in other words, provides the platform for such execution. But those who hold the expertise don't have to be members of government. That is where consultants come in. So this platform is for such engagement, citizen engagement, where where people who have deep knowledge about aspects of governance, deliverables, dividends of democracy, how they can be better and more cost-effective pursued, can come in with ideas. The ideas they bring in don't have to be full and elaborate, just hint. Those hints, when we process them and discover that if fully explored, can give vent to something that will change the needle in terms of delivering dividends of democracy, you will be invited by the appropriate ministry, department, and agency. Like Mrs. Orji said, it's not necessarily going to be executed by the Ministry of Information or Ministry of Economic Planning. No, you have ministries, departments, and agencies. So the information, the suggestion, the prescription you are bringing in will be tailored to the appropriate governmental agency or authority that will deal with it. What we call process holders. Whatever you are bringing in certainly belongs to a particular process, and the head of the ministry, department or agency that is involved will be contacted real time to take up your recommendation. If there is merit in it, why not? It has to be implemented with your support even. And whoever is hearing our voice can understand that this is a very bright and unique opportunity for everyone to be part of governance in Anambra State. It's a unique opportunity that Governor Soludo has offered through the SolutionLens. So on the back, can so to any if I with a SolutionLens, Governor Soludo Tota, Kaiwe inye Ndi Anambra. Onye ọbụla brothers on the Anambra safe. Onye ọbụla interested n'ifene me na Anambra opportunity ko bia at that platform. You are the platform. If we offended the girl banwa already. Only things are there. Ikwu na ifende are there na fa dempa etinye. Only twist emeife mo bu zo ka na law mo bu akwụkwọ mo bu no anything at all. He believe you know we to IEC mayor or Makalia. This is the opportunity for you. You will tell the information. Be sure that we are going to use it. We are an open book. We are running an open government. That is the leadership philosophy of Professor Chukwuma Soludo. Open governance, open government. Make a maximum use of the opportunity.
Okay, before we come back to Mrs. Orji, another thing I would like to know is, aini ukumakebo SolutionLens, and we're going to hit the care Kimwe Enquiries and Anambra State.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure, because if we met one on ground, there wouldn't be any need to start another one. I'm not really sure. What you have before now is just the basic government website, the Ministry of Information website. There are many ministries, departments, and agencies who work on websites. There are many of them. I know at least up to 20 where their own independent websites. But this one is the overall platform where you bring what you find in all these ministries, departments, and agencies' websites. You bring them together, the essential components of those. Bring them to that dashboard. In other words, it means that it will serve even as an archiver over time. Even when Soludo's government is long gone, you can still go back to the data, to the history, to find what was done, how it was done, and so on and so forth. Government is a continuum. So it's unique in that sense. No need bukota in the government on one-stop platform, one-stop shop. That is where you get everything. Rather than move from Ministry of Information to internal revenue to youth and sports and so on. No, we don't need to move from place to place, from ministry, department, and agency to another. Come to SolutionLens. you will find all these ministries, departments, and agencies there. You know, let me give you an insight into how the place will run or is running. The planning officers of the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning and the information officers of the Ministries of the Ministry of Information are the ones generating much of this data and uploading, right? So, because if you come to Ministry of Information, for example, I have at least one information officer in every ministry, department, and agency. Their duty is to process, gather information on the activities of the ministry, department, or agency, and send it to the ministry for processing as news. That is what we eventually upload, both to the ministry's website and the SolutionLens. So whatever you want to know about all the ministries, departments, and agencies ought to be found in the SolutionLens. It's a one-stop platform. You don't need to move around. And what you also want to see, if you don't see it there, you raise query. You raise a query, and it will be answered by providing information or answers to the questions you raised. That is what this is all about. Simplified.
Okay. All right. Just before we open up the phone lines and get contribution from the listening public, one of the problems we usually have about projects, at least in this part of the world, is the problem of sustainability. You break it down in local language. Okay. Yes. With the projects, Dika SolutionLens now. Or macham monyo buna with the chame accept. Ibiazie MMM. The problem of sustainability will so what are the plans with regards to sustainability of the SolutionLens?
Thank you for that very important question. This SolutionLens, a lot of thought was actually put into this project, and like the commissioner mentioned, the planning officers in every MDA and the information officers in all MDAs are the ones driving this process. And they were trained and retrained before the launch of this process on how to manage data privacy, communication. They were properly trained. And then again, this SolutionLens is embedded in Ministry of Information. There are officers, civil servants that are taking ownership of this project. Like the commissioner mentioned, it's the planning officers and the information officers that generate this information. So the process is running seamlessly on its own. So we keep training and retraining the officers to ensure that this project kicks off properly and is sustained. So we have structure, we have plans, the implementation plan and everything are running and they are all in place.
Okay. Now, the question I have is, based on what you said, it's important to know that you're saying SolutionLens. No, but it's not something for Sosondi being a township. Yeah, nothing on a village. Again, one access to it.
Of course, nothing on a village gain access to it, and they were put into consideration. Mbana build this platform. For example, if you click the platform, it's lens at anambrastate.gov.ng. If you click, you will see a helpline, a toll-free line 5111. So you can call that number free of charge, and you can do SMS. If you don't have internet-enabled phone, you can do SMS, and you will get feedback. And then again, when I spoke earlier, I talked about the other forums we have for both market women, everybody, people with disabilities. Those forums are still in place. So if you're unable to access the SolutionLens, we still have other ways that you can actually contribute to what the government is doing in citizens' engagement.
All right, so beyond complaints or beyond saying what is, could the SolutionLens also entertain questions as well?
Of course, SolutionLens entertains questions. If you have any question, and it also tracks response to those questions. Because one is to ask questions, but the response is in a timely manner. How is this questions responded to? They are all put into the system, so you can track them and you can call them up. For every question, there is an ID number. You can call them up later. If you're not satisfied, there are stages to these to the complaints. So they are all in place in the platform.
Okay. All right, but this is still Ask the Commissioner right here on ABS 88.5 FM, and today our focus, our spotlight is on SolutionLens, a one-stop platform for inquiries on Soludo's government, an opportunity for you to call in and share your thoughts with regards to what we are discussing today, a new idea, a new innovation by the government, and how you can, utilize it for accountability's sake. After all, the government is for the people as well. But before we open up the phone lines, we have someone else with us in the studio, Chief Amoronyene. He calls himself Otimpu Soludo. Would like to get his input. I got choker. I will take your own input with regards to IHA and Yokumakebu SolutionLens.
Ya anyị ya bịakwakwa ka anyị si abịa o nke taa dị n'ịbụ nchọkọ chọkọlọ kwuru n'ite ofe ka anyị na-akọwa maka ya ọ gịnị ka ọ pụtara ibe akwụkwọ na-atọ ite siri n'ọkụ. Nke mbụ, nwere budget, nwee economic planning, Ministry of Information, SolutionLens platform ka na-ekwu okwu ya na gbakọ nzukọ akụ na ụkwa ga-abụrịrị na agbụrụ gada ụmụnne m na anụ geyi ma ọ nọ n'oru ma ọ nọ n'Igbo ma ọ pụrụ mba onye nụ maka SolutionLens ka ọ ghọta ife a na-ekwu ịmara ife ị na-emekarịsị ịmara ala ị na-atụkarịsị ịmara mbọ ị na-agbakarị Anambra State ga-eji na-aga n'iru biko gbaa mbọ tinye onwe gị na SolutionLens. The platform adịgo ọdịgo bụ na ọdịgo a na-ezi ozie obodo dị iche iche unu mmalụ oyi mgbe nka m ji akọwara ya unu nwantịntị oyibere think home philosophy a na-ekwu kemgbe gboo. Anyị ezugo bụ na anyị ezugo ife jiri mmalụ Soludo bụ gịnị Soludo solution na-aga n'iru n'ụzọ dị iche iche. Ndị ọrụ oyibo, ndị ọrụ aka, ndị na-eme biznes, ndị kpala ego na tabani ka anyị dozie Anambra State ka ọ dị mma ụmụnne m nyagazie n'ọfọ.
Okay,
my brother.
Dịka anyị ka na-ekwu maka SolutionLens as a one-stop platform for inquiries on Soludo's government. Yamabo ihe na-ekwu maka etata na Ask the Commissioner. And I chọrọ ichetara onye ọbụla na ihe mmemme a na-abịara gị live na Facebook. Ị gaa na Facebook, ị chọọ Anambra Broadcasting Service na Facebook, isonyere anyị. Ma ọ bụkwanụ ị ga-akpọ akara ekwentị ndị a anyị nwe na studio kpọọ na 0808 487 2166 0808-487-2166 maọbụkwanụ 0706-538-1320 0706-538-1320. ihe a bụ akara ekwentị iji ga-enweta anyị maọbụ izite ozi na Facebook bụ Anambra Broadcasting Service. Anyị na-agakwa n'iru na-atụ anya ajụjụ maka ịma na ihe a bụ ihe ọfụrụ emepụtara. Ọ bụrụ na o nwere ajụjụ ejụrụ gbasara etu esi ga-eyuzi ya ma wee tụ gị nwa na onwe gị nọkwa na ọ bụrụ na ị nọ n'ime obodo ị na-asị ndị nọkwa n'ime obodo ha ga-enwekwa access to ihe a na-ekwu bụ SolutionLens. Well, the experts are here to answer all your questions. Ọ bụrụ na ịkpọ maka ọbụrụkwa emechaa Ask the Commissioner ịkpọkwa mụnwa amakwa ihe ọbụla ha na-akụ maka SolutionLens nke mmanwụ nke m na-ekwu now, so it will be better for you to call and ask your questions. Well, we forge ahead as we wait for reactions and contributions from the listening public. Well, we'll also tell you that this program allows both the use of English and Igbo language. And anyị na-akọkwa ụnụ nwa ndị anyị na-ajụ ajụjụ ga na-agbarikwara anyị ya n'Igbo maka na ọ bụrụ sọ sụpịrị ka anyị ga na-asụ ebe a. Exactly. Hello.
No, good afternoon.
No, ka onye na-ekwu ka ebe isi akpọ. Ka afa gị? Onye?
Chinedu.
Okay, Chinedu, gaa n'iru. We can hear you.
Okay. Actually, can Honourable Commissioner for Information.
Dalu, my brother.
This policy, because this platform now can you now at least maybe actually no the government not the job and that one number so I'm not the policy now even now my Ogono Ogabona ya dika normal Nigeria project of police on abo e work 25 years old they make omana allo efficiently so because obon ka bu is ka bu order so many police people e work to go mana at the end of the day oga ya if there the pictures or the if they need to proceed there. If they don't with the appropriate response to that thing. So now, always the report in China, because every sample precisely the stalker. Now, this day the other go in the Anambra State University. Even they make third time and my report definitely yes. And about report in the chair. Nothing happened. Just like Ogochukwu where some Nigerian policies and citizens. So,
what's the
because only group of boys, Nana Israeli get with armed robbers have been attacked. My sister-in-law in our shop each year goes there. And 3 days ago now, silent robbery. Yeah, in the man like that, Euro shop. I don't know which name about. I offer 100,000 naira. They break his shop on them mad. In fact, she needs by 7 o'clock. If you do not pack up, I don't engage. In fact, I'm a rope on this dog. Junior penalty there. At least I get now. Can I report it? If I not be in university premises, I'm the few is dog. And are up indiscriminately. And that's what we make third time more important. That they make a man. So people commissioner no make for people. Multi game that is in the way we down for because this is only the stuff I well. So unfortunately,
Dalu one name.
Thank you very much.
Because my like Kamuna go to Nkata after this program.
Someone else is here. Hello.
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 Hello. All right. Do well to call us back once more. Remember the numbers to call are 0706 538 1320. 0706 538 1320. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello. Okay, all right. We still expect reactions from the listening public. I like to believe that this kind of complaint this person made is what SolutionLens is all about.
Yes, we need to process it further.
Okay.
That is why I asked to discuss with him further after this program. It's a very serious information they brought.
Yes.
We need to work on it.
True. Okay.
That nonsense must stop.
It must.
Yes.
It must.
It has to stop.
Exactly. Of course, as it should be. All right, call 0808-487-2166, 0808-487-2166. Hello.
Hello.
Who's your PK? Can you know?
Well, I don't know who's because I don't get to know now, Martha.
It was a
name is maybe, but not sure. I will know soccer with me and Mero. You never.
You didn't tell us your name. You did not tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Walker.
Gafagi.
I'm moving to you. I'm a call from Walker.
Okay, so
I don't know Manata. I put a million over. India Parliament to India. And what goes now, I shall go soccer away.
okay.
Because I never the choose of governor now. Because put my phone again, eh?
Okay.
What the war 8 plus. A blue million and main road or drama.
Okay. All right.
Another important information.
So
SolutionLens
has started working indirectly down here because we are air right now. Okay. All right. So now another thing is some persons might want to pass on information. Just hold that thought. Hello.
Hello.
Kafa, you can be sabo. Timothy, can be sabo. Okay, go ahead.
Honourable Commissioner, I'm a man.
Afternoon, my brother.
License to have approval under a week. Some of them want to make it under a month. But what I mean though, I think I had a on the Buri Helano. I came a good on us, came a good more. If I had a good round about almost around a bar, I push motor view. That time, how would you work what else why had that? What is that move work hand of where what they go say and say go into because there are people based on the and that would go in to what would on that pass or whatever. But I people are no common, most of them are I want to know about 2 months and Lagos. I'm here I got my national living in there.
All right.
And they have and how can I root back?
Okay.
But now we can have a touch
All right.
Dalo.
That's
We will work on it.
has been taken note of. Okay. All right. So what I wanted to ask Orji Ogochukwu was, sometimes people want to send in information, but they want to remain anonymous. Does the SolutionLens guarantee anonymity of sources?
Precisely, it does. SolutionLens, it gives you that option. Do you want to say your name? Do you want to make submissions anonymously? Of course,
Wow,
it's there.
interesting.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice. I think people covered all the
No,
ground.
generally, in line with what Ogo has said, you see, it's not just the SolutionLens. Government feedback mechanism provides expressly for confidentiality. What we do with our call center, which again is aligned with the SolutionLens. Our call center 511. All the calls you make there are received, treated, and processed with utmost confidentiality. I just want to reassure our people. Information about the lie, malona, I need to treat it with care. Because I'm an oblong if the security basal, information basal security. I want the mad onye gwalai, you may be lawyer with. So I'm at the value of confidentiality. Please keep supplying the information. It's helping the Operation Udoga Ache, the Agune Chamber is helping them a lot. In Ayanane, Anambra is coming down. Security is on the rise, total security. Even 5 years ago, Anambra was adjudged the safest state in Nigeria. We lost it. Now we are about to reclaim it. That status. Information we tap on the information. If you see something, say something, call 5111 and always you 5 million naira. If we need go in a marry for na low, yeah, buy ama. Okay, say SolutionLens. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I want to ask, did you also make provisions for how traditional rulers, civil society groups, and youth groups could also partner with your team to advocate the use of SolutionLens, especially among their people and in the community and rural areas?
The non-state actors are our main partners. We engage them during this process. They made inputs into the platform. So this is their platform. They are already in the rural areas speaking to their people, their representatives about this platform. They were even saying that this is what civil society clamor for in other states, but they didn't need to even speak on it here in Anambra, and Governor Soludo did it for Ndi Anambra. So they are our partners. Right from inception, we've been working with them. The launch, they are all part of it. Both the ASATU, the traditional rulers, the organized private sectors, they are all parts of this process. They were part of this process, and they are also our partners. You know, open government partnership is about bringing state actors and non-state actors in one table to make decisions for the government. So we are all partners in progress.
Okay. I know when you were speaking earlier, you mentioned something about persons living with disabilities. So this SolutionLens, there are also provisions for this category of persons as well.
Of course, there are provisions for this category
PWDs.
of PWDs. Yes, there's a provision for them. They were part of the engagement. We engaged them during that process. We've been engaging them, yes, so they are part of it. So this makes it easy for them. For example, if you're able to come out and make any input, you'll be able to use this. And then for the ones that can't see, they use the toll-free lines to tell us their challenges. So they are part of this process.
Well, looks like you guys covered every ground, all there is to cover.
Yeah, basically, SolutionLens is a rare opportunity for every Ndi Anambra to be part of building this livable and prosperous mega smart city. So Governor Soludo understands and appreciates the ingenuity of Ndi Anambra. That's why he invites Ndi Anambra to, one, you'll be able to make input into what the government is doing. You can engage the government. If you have ideas or better ways you think government can implement programs and projects, this is an opportunity to give us that idea, to co-create, to engage, not just be an observer, but be part of making this change, be part of this change happening in Anambra State, be part of the team building the livable and prosperous mega smart city. So this is what SolutionLens is about.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and location.
Honourable Commissioner, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my brother.
You're welcome.
No.
Chiamaka. Man, even trying you look at our private number. I don't want to have a Asia. Who put you a private number? Nada, Mama.
Hello, my brother.
Okay, all right. So somebody asked a question. Someone sent me a question, said I should ask you. Okay, so the person is saying, can users rate or review the responsiveness of various government MDAs through the SolutionLens? And can they also see when the governments respond? Can they also get that information?
Yes, that's an exciting question. That was actually considered. You know, when I mentioned, I said something, the response is, as long as you didn't ask your question anonymously, your response will also be transparent, it will be open, everybody will see it. The timeliness, we're also particular about the timeliness. The relevant MD is expected to respond. We have our time, how do I put it now? It must be timely. Every submission must be timely. So we put that into consideration. So everybody will see it. And also at the back end, the bosses are also looking at the end of the month. We also have, they look at the back end. How have we fared? Are there loopholes? How do we ensure that this platform is active? How do we ensure that Ndi Anambra gets value for this platform? So there are back end views, monitoring and evaluation to ensure that if anyone is meant to respond to a complaint, the person actually responds when they should and how they should. So there are back-end views to it.
Okay, somebody also has a question for the commissioner, but I will pick this call first. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Everybody in our studio.
No, can you? Okay, you're welcome, Nze.
Yeah. Commission on now, one governor.
Dalusa.
Can be like this. First of all, Commissioner Emmanuel Bolivani and Nala Wacha Governor, Manankel, Otegwe. I know this every 3 months, the Lord Chiamaka Nnake. So Bolonata Obiale and the Bolonata Obiale, all the time Bolo, no from the host's mouth. Direct, I never like it to give them a Kalwago days in Oka. Then, we maintain on child drop like lens there on the road. No issue where now, no on the mother. Now, I might be the now, large government on Nigeria, I just one day on Archie, you were actual before. For example, I as in Oka, I will governor Bobby studio. I can never quit. That's one can was the economic benefit this Ekulobia tour. Government also right. Like on your born from Ifite. Let me tell you the simple truth. They are animal kidnapping every day. So you can't now insecurity now. Mono until your key figure before about this paper. Insecurity kind of Nana Naya go Naya. You I need you we were getting of Ubu. A full of government house, a full of four city, a full of Toa. So that you can like get an so now none of issues and the matter. Who know where my phone go? A full of some kids that who that can moon.
Okay. Yeah.
Dalu.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, economic benefit of the Ekulobia Tower. First, the bigger picture. Before I got a good urban nature on Anambra, an entertainment center, a tourism center, and Africa, Dubai, Taiwan, Silicon Valley. If this is our goal and our dream, I need many more of Ekulobia Towers. People visit places because of specific sites. Only where you can the new mini city, Anambra government house. If you get to the place, you see that it has become a tourist center. So many things. From the road, from the Emeka Anyoko Boulevard to there is another tower there. Maybe you haven't, so it's not only a Ekulobia Tower. There is one now. And that tower, because we answer the light of the nation. Being the light of the nation, we have built a symbolic tower called the Light of the Nation Tower, just before the entrance of the government house. And right at the gate of the Anambra State government house, you have our heroes past monument, where you have about 5 to 7 iconic leaders of Anambra State extraction. Their effigies are mounted there around the structure that is the monument. Men like Zeke, Ojukwu, Chinua Achebe, Margaret Ekpo, Kenneth Dike. These are some of the iconic leaders of Anambra extraction that you have there. They serve as a symbolic reminder. So it's not the tower is not just there as a monument. It is a symbolic presence indicating where Anambra is headed. The overall aim, if you listen to Ogo, she repeatedly talked about making Anambra into one smart mega city. It doesn't come without some of these monuments. In fact, the solid foundations are being laid. But let me mention this to us. Our goal, Soludo's a goal, Solution Government's a goal as a government is to make Anambra a destination. You must put in place those things that will make people decide to visit Anambra State. If those things are not, Anambra will remain a departure lounge as it is at the moment. So it's a matter of time, and I would like to engage you further beyond this program, so that I can help you to appreciate fully the vision of Soludo, where he is taking Anambra, physically, psychologically, and otherwise. In fact, Soludo has a site at the moment set on the recreation of a new Anambra, because I will see all these things. Is it for who? I am proper Ndi Anambra to occupy it. What that means is that very soon, the Ministry of Information, on behalf of the government, will be embarking on very comprehensive attitude and behavior modification programs to recreate, regenerate our people. So it is not only physical symbolism, we are also going to delve deeply into behavior modification. This is a story for another day.
Yes, and
separately.
Yes,
today, I Chiamaka
SolutionLens already. And
are we done already?
Yes, we are done. Yes.
Ogo is the.
Before we go, just 30 seconds. Anything you have to say to Ndi Anambra concerning SolutionLens? Just 30 seconds. Let's go.
Your last line.
Ndi Anambra, biko Governor Soludo enyega SolutionLens. OCI, engage me, ask me questions, interrogate what I am doing. You will get feedback. This is a rare opportunity. Please, let us leverage this platform. Let us engage the government. Let us scrutinize the government. It's our government. This is democracy taking a notch further. So this is an opportunity for you to own Anambra State, own the government. It is yours. Be part of what the Mr. Solution is doing in Anambra State. Thank you very much.
All right, we'd like to thank you, Ogochukwu Orji, SSA to the Governor on Budget and Economic Planning. She is studying for the Honourable Commissioner for Budget Partners and Economic Planning, Mrs. Chiamaka Nnake. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
All right, we also want to thank our very own Commissioner, High Chief Dr. Lome IV, Commissioner for Information. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program.
Yeah, thank you. I talked about if you see something, say something, call 5111, and even make as much as ₦1 million if the intel given to us is very useful. There is one more thing I want to say, please. If you see our operatives, our law enforcers, all our agencies that are into enforcement, any of them is behaving, going outside code of conduct, normal conduct, what you consider abnormal, please reach out to the government. Reach out to my office, the Ministry of Information, and we will have it dealt with, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, just to remind you that the program Ask the Commissioner makes a return next week, Thursday at this time. We also like to thank Chief Nnake for also joining the program today.
Yeah.